Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. I hope all of you guys are doing good. I'm going to switch it up a little bit tonight. I do these streams from time to time, and we've had a lot going on lately, including the crazy pistol braced pistol ban. And I did a live stream just 2 days ago where we went past midnight talking about that. And when I go back and I read all of the different chats, you guys have awesome chats, by the way. That's the only reason I'm here, and I'm sure it's the reason a lot of you guys are here too. I often get questions, and since I read them afterwards, I can't answer them. So I just kind of want to do a laid back hang out with each other, hang out with me, and just do kind of a Q&A. So start thinking of a few questions you guys might have. I have a few things that I want to show you, a couple things I want to talk about first, and then Linda will pick some people and pin some of those up on the screen. But before I forget, I definitely want to thank all of you for the many ways you help support this channel. Those of you that are on Patreon, we have a ton of channel members here, and those of you who leave generous super chats. You guys are my sponsors. You're the reason I'm able to keep doing this channel. So thank you. Also, make sure you check out my locals community. It's censorship free. I do an extra live stream there weekly, as far as tons of other bonus content that I cannot do here on YouTube. Now, the streams over there are literally how they used to be on here, where I can touch guns, hold guns while I'm live, which is strictly prohibited on YouTube due to policy. So I can't do that tonight, but make sure you remember my locals community, because the streams there are really, really fun. And you can join there free, or it's a place that you can support, and you can actually support financially totally free as well. Now, I wanted to catch up to people from the last two streams that supported, but I couldn't quite catch them. So if you go back to the last Friday stream, I had a super sticker at the very end from Dana Webb. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I had signed off, but you must have hit send right around the same time. And then in my last live stream, C&T Designs and Arms, who's in the chat right now. What's happening, man? He made me that awesome 2A EDU sign back there with the light. A lot of you guys compliment that. That's him. If you want to ask him about his work that he does, that's it right there, the 2A EDU light up sign. He gifted 5 channel memberships, so I wanted to thank you, man. I was here by myself. I didn't have any moderators helping me for that impromptu stream, and I use a program called StreamYard. And when I'm in StreamYard, I can't see the channel member gifts or the channel member super chats, because by being a member, you get a free super chat. Been bugging StreamYard forever to integrate that. They haven't done that yet. But as long as Linda's here, she usually catches that. So thank you, C&T. I appreciate it, dude. So yeah, I'm kind of excited, guys. I've been so busy for the last, couple months now. It's the 1st of June, and we're having a drought here in Michigan, which is crazy. It's been 90 degrees the past 3 days. Totally nuts. And I've been so busy, I haven't even had time to hardly breathe or drink water or do anything. It's been nuts. But you have to work that hard when you own a landscaping business like I do, because that's when the work comes in. Then you could face a drought usually in mid-July or August and not have any work at all, but we're getting that right now at the beginning of June. Totally nuts. So I'm finally getting my schedule down to where I won't be working 15 hours a week, at least for the foreseeable future. So I have a ton of videos that are backlogged, many that I've actually recorded. I just haven't had time to do the little bit of editing and go across I know it's Neil technically, that's the CEO, but Susan still works there to get past the Susan Wiki board of approval. I don't know if you guys have heard anything like that, but sometimes you'll put up a video on YouTube, and before it's published, they'll take a look at it and say, yeah, not so much, restricted. You put up a restricted video, nobody sees it. So sometimes I just have to kind of start back over again, or in some instances, scrap the whole idea. But I have tons of videos that are literally recorded, and I went through, I guess, the hardest part. Now I have to do the part that's not as fun for me, that I'm not very good at, which is the editing. Now, my videos aren't highly edited or fancy or anything like that, but you still have to go through and trim off the beginning and end and do little things like that. And then sometimes the hardest part is, yeah, you guys know who this is, right? Used to be the CEO of YouTube for a long time. Now, still works there and still watches the channel, from what I'm told. Still a big fan of the channel, actually, I would note, right? How many Susan Wiki fans do we have? All right, I see Jane Locke. What's happening, Jane Locke, in the chat? What do you guys think? Are you more of a Jane Locke fan or a Susan Wiki fan? Let me know. This is elderberry juice, by the way. Just about a teaspoon of like this highly concentrated concentrate, and it's actually pretty good. Good for you too. Ultra Mega Mama Linda says, I'm using the StreamYard side too. I pop back and forth to check both. And yes, thank you. Thank you for helping with that. I really, really appreciate it. So I got a couple things in the mail. This is kind of like a little bit of an unboxing that I can do on YouTube because there's nothing in here that's going to violate the old policy. But these are going to pop up in regular, shorter, standalone videos as well. These are some Forge-Tec holsters. I have a whole bag of them here, 4 holsters total. And if you guys have been around the channel, you already know this. But if not, if you're new, I'm a big fan of Forge-Tec. They're a Michigan company, local, true small business owner. Like the owner makes these holsters himself. High degree of fit and finish. Everything with them is made in the USA. Now, I did leave a link down there in the description for this. This is not an affiliate link. I don't get any commission off of it. But Paul, the owner of Forge-Tec, is a friend of the channel and a friend of mine personally. And he's a really cool dude. And the main reason I want to show off these holsters is because I believe they're an excellent bang for the buck. And you guys are awesome. So I want to hook you guys up with good resources. You can use code 28EDU to save 5% for all the channel supporters, whether you're a channel member, Patreon, or local supporter. I do have a little bit higher code. I can't do that right now because I'm on the stream, but check the YouTube community tab later on tonight, as well as Patreon and locals, and I'll hook you guys up with the other one. But 28EDU will save you 5%. Now, 3 of these are going to be for the channel, and 1 of these is going to be a gift to somebody who I'm going to give it to. So here's the TX22 Compact. These are all OWB. He's going to make these in IWB, appendix, IWB, things like that. He's like, dude, what holsters do you want? You got any new guns, whatever? Like I said, we're just friends. He's not paying me to promote his product, nothing like that at all. It's just, I like his stuff and he knows it. And it's a nice locally owned business. Again, everything here is made in the USA, like down to everything. Not just the Kydex, but just the fasteners, the clips. But he's usually like, dude, do you want an OWB if I'm going to be using it for a range video or whatnot? And I'll say, yeah, OWB, just because it's easier for the range. But most of my EDC holsters, IWB stuff is also Forge-Tec. And one more thing over here real quick. If you want, again, I get no kickback on this at all, but if you think it's cool, you can actually get a 2-way EDU Kydex. This is not printed on the Kydex or like a sticker. This is actually infused into the Kydex by another Michigan company, Tactical Infusions, that makes this custom Kydex. So if you go in there and look, you'll actually see an option where you can select custom prints, and the 2-way EDU print is one of them. This is for a GX4 XL, and it has the Toro cut. So I can use it for the optics ready option or the regular one. And that's not a bad idea, especially if you're into these Tauruses where there's like Legos, where you can buy a regular GX4. You can swap the slide out with either an XL slide, or you could put on a GX4 Toro slide, or now the GX4 XL Toro slide. Yeah, so there's different options. Well, if you're like, I have the GX4 right now. Now, the XL is going to be a different holster, longer slide, but say you have the regular Taurus GX4. And you were to buy a holster for it, you might, unless you just know yourself well enough and you're never, ever, ever going to want an optic, you might get the optics cut holster, knowing that later on you might get one of the Toro slides because you can get those a la carte now. And then that way your holster's already ready to go. And that's what I did. When the GX4 XL came out, I knew there was going to be a Toro version in the future. It was just going to take a little bit longer. So I said, I want to get a Toro cut, and then that way this is a holster that'll work for 2 different pistols I have, right? 2A is Absolute Tim. This is Forge-Tec holsters. If you go right down in the description, there's a link. FORGEDTEC holsters. Just check the description of this video. And this is, like I said, one more time, this is not an advertising spot. That's actually not a commission affiliate link at all. Some of my links are, and I appreciate when you guys do use those links to help the channel. This is just a good friend of mine, and he came at the annual 2A Edu Hangout last year in Howell at Pillbox Bunker's house. Shout out to Pillbox Bunker. I saw the lovely Amanda Wilson in the house, Jeremy Wilson. Yeah, they were nice enough to have us at their home 2 years in a row, and Forge Tech was there hanging out. But yes, so this is for the Taurus TX22 Compact. I've done a video on YouTube here of the TX22 Compact. I've showed on locals quite a few times. Give you guys a little look at the holster. This is Kydex. I generally do carry a Kydex holster. It's just little attention to detail, stuff like that matters to me. You can see he goes and like hand burnishes all the edges. I'm trying to get it to zoom in. It's hard when you're zooming in on just about like something that's shiny and black. Nice and smooth, nothing to snag on the gun whatsoever. Of course, I'd like to show you, but I can't show a firearm here, so we're just looking at empty holsters for anyone that's watching on YouTube, which is completely approved. You can adjust the tension a little bit here with these two screws, and even the screws are nice. Nice oxide finish. There's a little rubber. There's little pieces of rubber in between here that offers it kind of like, you know, the retention and allows a little cushiness for when you're torquing down. I'm going to give you guys a little tip. And I think he still does this. Last time I checked, you can just do it like as a freebie, an add-on. You just have to do the drop-in. He'll give you. And if he doesn't do it anymore, I'm sorry, but I know he used to last time I checked. He'll give you a little one-time use thing of Vibratite. Whenever you find the proper tension on whether it's a Forge Tech holster or any holster like this, where there's screws, or quite frankly, any of your gear that has screws that you might use for adjustments, put a little bit of Vibratite on there. It's going to make sure they don't jiggle off. And people are going to have pros and cons, and everyone has favorites. But I'll tell you guys, I've been around this for a long time. And even other things like with my landscape business, small screws that are subject to vibration, Vibratite's the best. And I actually have some, I think I do. Yeah, right here. This is what I use for this type of thing. Now, you can use blue Loctite. You could use purple Loctite. Loctite products are a little different, though, than Vibratite. Now, before I show this to you, it's going to be red. Do not confuse this with red Loctite, which is permanent strength. Don't ever use that on small screws like this, or you will strip the head off. Like, literally will strip the head of the screw off. Don't use red Loctite. That's not what this is. Okay. This is called VC3 Threadmate. And last time I checked, Forge Tech will give you a little, like one of those little sample packs or whatever, just a little one-time use to get your screws. Really, really nice stuff. You basically put it on the threads. Let it tack up first, which is the opposite of Loctite, okay? And it's adjustable and reusable. Reusable within reason. But what I mean is you coat your screws in it, you can find the tension, adjust it again a week later, and it's still going to work. So it's an anti-vibration product. It's to keep screws from like wiggling their way loose when you're using them on a regular basis. Again, not sponsored by Vibratite. I bought this with my own money, and you can see how little you use. I've literally used this on like 50 screws, and there's still that much in this bottle. So if you have blue Loctite already and want to use blue Loctite, fine. I just think for screws that you're going to be kind of maybe readjusting later, I really, really think this product is probably the best. And let me know what you guys think, but I really don't use anything other than this for stuff like that. Now, this is not red Loctite, though. I showed this in a video a while back, and somebody's like, dang, I went and bought another brand of that red Loctite you showed, and couldn't get it off of there. And I'm like, I wasn't showing red Loctite. So anytime I ever talk about this in the future, I tell people 10 times. It's red in color. It is not red Loctite. And it's not thread locker. It's actually a different type of product. But yeah, TX22 compact. That's going to be cool. And like I said, you can get these for different variations, different carry. But this is a really nice clip here. So I have it latched right now. It's not going to come off. First, I have to come in and swing It's always hard to do on camera. I have to swing this little keeper down, right? Then I can just simply squeeze in and out. This whole clip's made in the USA. You can see there's different patterns, and he'll have it where it's already set up on here if you order this as an option. You can adjust for the belt loop. So you can take it all the way up to a large belt here by just moving these little pieces that are just like basically tongue and groove. Say I just pop that out there. Oh, I could bring it up here to widen this up, to widen the footprint a little bit. You can bring that one down. You can get them really narrow if you want to adjust it to like a piece of molly webbing or even a string, like a paracord or something. But yeah, this is one of his OWB options. This is a little bit of an upgrade, but these are affordable holsters. They really are. I don't want to keep going into it forever here because I don't want to bore you guys on talking holsters all night. Leather holsters. Gosh, I got to really show this to you guys on locals because I can touch guns on locals. Watch my local stream tomorrow night, and I'll show you guys this in action. This is a JM4 tactical holster. Magnetic retention. Yeah. Like, this thing's awesome. Love it. But I really need to show you guys, like, this thing in action. You can see there for this one I'm using for the Taurus GX4. Watch my local stream tomorrow night where I can literally touch guns while I'm live, and you guys will see. What else do I have? Well, unless you're watching my local streams, you guys probably haven't seen this gun yet, but I do have a video planned soon for YouTube. This is for, do you guys want to guess? This is another 22, and it's not a Taurus. I will tell you guys that much. It's 22 caliber, and it is not a Taurus. You guys can take another look at this. He has regular OWB clips, IWB, all that stuff. Again, I requested the OWB just for my purposes here. I'm not going to carry any of these pistols that you're seeing for my EDC. Here's an example here. Oh, I just knocked away one of the items I'm going to give away tonight. Yeah, let's put that back up here. I'm going to give away a couple things tonight, actually. Okay, Ross is a locals viewer. DLD, you got close, man. I'm going to give DLD the honorable mention. You know what? I'm going to give away something right now, and I'm going to give it away to DLD for the honorable mention prize. And then we're going to give away something else a little bit later. Normally the winner gets something, but I'll hook you up with something, Ross. This is one for a GX4, okay? That's Appendix IWB. So just to give you guys a quick, yeah. This is not meant to be a full holster video, and it's not going to be. I'm going to be checking the chat for questions in just a minute. But Ross did get it. This is for the Kel-Tec P17. A lot of guns you guys wanted to know about, and that was one of them. You guys said, I want to know about the P17 because I reviewed the Taurus TX22 a couple times. Then the Compact came out within the last year. And you guys are like, cool. But what do you think about the P17? And trust me, in the gun community, it becomes nothing but, okay, thanks for showing me this. Now what about? And dude, that's what's awesome about guns. But that's what sucks is there's just so many. I can't buy every gun people want to know about, but I did buy the P17, and I do plan on putting that and the TX22 up against each other for quite a bit of rounds. And the longer it takes me to do the video, the more rounds you guys will see because I'm able to work more to be able to afford to buy the ammo. So this is from our friend Marco Polo. He actually gave me a whole box of stuff to give away, and I've given away most of it on locals already. Although there's a couple things that, if you see any good questions, Linda, just grab them and put them in the queue there. Make sure you take care of our channel members and super chats first and foremost because they've kind of got a little more skin in the game, but we'll answer other questions too. All right. So Marco Polo gave us like quite a few things to give to you guys actually, which is awesome. I can't show you the thing that he gave me here because it's prohibited from YouTube for me to keep, but this is something, and I'm going to give this to DLD After Dark because he was second, okay? But I'm going to give it to him anyways because I know he'll be able to use this for sure. This is a Pierce grip extension for a Gen 3 Glock 26, 27, 33. So it says right here, this product increases the capacity of the subcompact Glock 9mm by 2 rounds and the 40 Smith & Wesson 357 SIG models by 1 round. So there you go. Email me, DLD, if you could, please, and the mailing address so that Linda, I'm going to give this to Linda this weekend, can mail that to you. So I know you'll be able to put this to good use. Thank you, Marco. That's cool, man. You better not tell me you don't have any subcompact Glocks. There's not no, I know DLD After Dark better than this. There's 0 chance he doesn't have one of those. Like literally 0 chance. What's this? DLD After Dark just came in. He said boating accident. Oh no, that's not him. That's not him. Never mind. I was like, wait a minute, he just lost all of his guns in a boating accident? I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to have a boating accident. So, P17. Anyone have any interest in the P17? I don't know. I might like it. I might not. I've looked at it, and that's it. Haven't done anything with it yet. And just by kind of looking at it, messing around with it, I'll be honest. I might like it, and I might not. So, you guys will see. And I truly mean that. Some guns, as soon as I get it in my hands, I'm like, I'm going to like this. For some reason, almost every Taurus I've touched for the last 3-4 years now, I'm like, I'm going to like it, and I do. The Kel-Tec, I don't know. I just don't know. More likely to have a front lawn accident. Jeez, oh, Pete. That's funny. Oh, boy. Hold on. I'm going to grab this one real quick, Linda, and keep building me up a little queue here. Oh, boy. Look what we have here. Hipster 7.62 Shooter 39 Glock. Are they still around? There you guys go. There's been a shot made across the bow for all you Glock fans out there. Ooh, that's tough. That's the kind of fun we're going to have tonight. That's the kind of fun we're going to have tonight. What do you guys think? By the way, the GX4 recall, I have a video that should be out this weekend. I didn't want to put it out day one because I've actually gone through most of the process, and I'll let you guys know. But I will tell you this. I'll give you guys a teeny teaser. The vast majority of my GX4s, yeah, I know. The vast majority of my GX4s, there's a whole fleet of them, a whole school of them swimming around, if you know what I mean. We're not affected by that. How do you queue questions? If you have a question that Linda thinks is good enough, then she'll pin it there. If it's a super chat, we'll definitely answer it. And if you're a channel member, there's a little higher likelihood. So there you go. Who said block? Oh, boy. What's happening, QD? They're making AR-15s now. Yeah, but I don't think for civilians in the U.S. I don't think. Maybe they are. I don't know. Glock, never heard of them before. I had to look them up. Can you guys believe that? A few weeks ago, Marco sent me this box of gear. What's up, Marco Polo? I think I saw you in the chat. Marco sent me this, and I said, hold on a minute. Glock. Is that a new model Taurus came out with? Held it up. It wouldn't fit on my Taurus GX4, so I did some research. I'd never heard of Glock before. It must be new. So I typed it in there. I'm like, Glock. I look at them like, oh, wow. Yeah, they're newer-ish. I think they've been out since about like 1983 or something like that. So they still fall under a little bit newer type company, I would say. Like they say, I am one of the most fashionable and up-to-date people on all of YouTube. So, but I found out about them, Glock. All right, here's another one. This is the third Forged Tech holster. I'm telling you guys, they're almost the only holsters I use. I do love that JM4 leather one for certain things. I'll do a demo on that on Locals tomorrow. This is for the G3 Tactical, which is optics cut. You can see the relief here. And the G3 Tactical is a pretty sweet gun. So this is the Taurus G3 Tactical. So we have 2 Tauruses and a Kel-Tec so far. The link for Forge Tech's down in the description and a coupon code if you guys are curious. If you just came in. Glock makes those dagger things. Well, I've heard of the dagger, obviously. I have tons of PSA daggers. I think what it is technically with semantics, their lawyers must have found a loophole, right? But clearly, these Glocks that have just been coming out, you guys are just talking about them. Clearly, the Glock is a dagger clone. In fact, Glock ripped off daggers, just whole function and part scheme so much. Like even like the, I don't know, like that little triangle thingy in the back that's plastic that goes in the grip and the crucible. I mean, yeah, even the shoulder thing that goes up. I would be surprised. But clearly Glock totally ripped off the PSA dagger. I agree with you, QD. So this is my Forge Tech G3. Now the next one is actually a gift for somebody else. DB, this is the Forge Tech holster for the G3 Tactical. You can go on their website. It's down in the description. Forge Tech holsters. Okay. I'm going to send you some other stuff too, DLD, because I won't spend the shipping just for this. Then I'll throw some other stuff in there for you. Not that this is a waste of shipping. It's just once I'm paying shipping, it doesn't weigh that much. What model for G3 Tactical? You'll just have to go on his site, and you can do like a drop down. I think it's like by brand, by model. Now, this next one is actually a gift for somebody else, and I have an avalanche of holsters now falling because I have to make sure the holsters are completely empty for YouTube, right? Yeah, Forge Tech might not have all the brands. You are right, AG, on that. Hey, it is what it is, I guess, right? He's a small business, but if there is anything that he makes that's within your brand, I'd suggest trying it. I get no kickback, guys. One more time. But he is a personal friend of mine. I've hung out with him in real life, and he's local. And he's not woke. And all this stuff's made in the USA. Okay, this is for another Taurus. And this particular friend of mine's probably going to need like 5 holsters by the time it's said and done. Now, who would need 5 holsters? What do you guys think this is for? It's a lot smaller holster. This is an OWB, so that they can get used to their pistol, just drawing it from an outside the waistband at the range. I think, I'm not a trainer, guys, but I've been around a lot of people and taught quite a few people how to shoot. I like to teach people first. Now, this is more of a fundamentals thing. We're not saying that this is going to get them all the way to where they ever need to be. I like to teach people when they first start to draw from the holster. And I don't teach drawing from the holster right away. You have to be very comfortable just grabbing the gun off the table, practicing the manual of arms, all of that. If someone's teaching somebody how to shoot drawing from a holster like their first range trip, this is just my opinion. Don't take offense if you or your best friend does it different. I don't think you should ever be training people to shoot, to draw and shoot from holsters like their very first range trip. Now, when I say that, I mean like a noob, like someone that either has never, ever shot a gun before, or like they shot it like in 5th or 6th grade camp, or like they shot it 5 years ago once during their CPL class, which is not training. So let's make sure we're all on the same page. But for a true noob, they should get comfortable and go through a certain understanding of the manual of arms and how the firearm is going to act when they shoot it before you even introduce a holster. Now, with that said, once you introduce a holster to a new shooter, I think it should be OWB. Do you guys agree? And if you disagree, that's totally fine too. So this is an OWB4. Let me see if anybody picked it here. Not a 709 Slim. Ooh, not a 709 Slim. Now, wait a minute. Jane Locke's in the chat. I think Jane Locke has a 709 Slim. Hold on a minute. Jane, you can chime in with DLD on that. QD still can't super chat. Huh. Log out, log back on. Not even $1? So OWB means outside the waistband, right? This is for a Taurus GX4. Okay. And with how this cut is here, I'm going to bet, even though I literally haven't put this in a gun yet, this will work for the, or I haven't put a gun in it yet. Can you believe what I just said? I said put this in a gun. Are you kidding me? No, I haven't put a gun in this yet, but it looks like a Toro cut to me. Who do you guys think I'm going to give this to? I took them out shooting. You're going to see a video of that very, very soon. Like I literally promise. I might stay up all night tonight to get it finished because I recorded it like a month ago. Let's see if we have any guesses here. Taking a peek in here and seeing where you guys are going. Oh, someone's giving Hipster a hard time. Ooh, Glock Innovation. The Bud Light of Firearms R&D. Ooh, getting spicy tonight. Jeez, oh, Pete. See, I'm like, dude, guys, we're just going to have a laid back, nonchalant. And if you guys want to see me like totally fire and brimstone to the max, check out my stream just like 2 days ago. Tonight, I'm kind of like, you know what? We're all felons equally at this point. So, yeah, you know, let your hair down a little bit. At least 40 million. 40 million of us are felons, right? C&T, no, it is not a Sky. This is a GX4 holster. And it's for, I don't know about you, but my favorite state representative, Jamie Thompson. So I'm going to be giving this to her. She has shot at the range with me, shot a couple different handguns, and she likes the GX4 the best. And she just might have a use for this now, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to put that video up soon, and I'm going to give this to her as a gift. Now, some of you got this right away. I'm like, this person's probably going to need 5 holsters. Who would need 5 holsters for the same gun? Only 2 people. The Tactical Timmies. It's all good. Shout out to all the Tactical Timmies out there that literally need 5 of the exact, you know, company holster, just 5 different cuts because they have to change their gear for every live action role-playing event. Now, besides that, all jokes aside, definitely shout out to all of the Tactical Timmies. A chick. Who else beside a chick would be changing their outfit so much and wearing so much different stuff that would need 5 holsters? But she is a chick, and she's a state representative, and she wears like formal dress clothes, and then like her normal clothes when she's hanging out and whatever. So she's going to need a ton of holsters, but I'm going to start her off with her first one. Now, that's pretty cool, man. I don't even like politicians generally, but my state rep, I'm really lucky. She's awesome. Like, go out to the range with her. It's a blast. You can just, like, hang out with her. And then she goes into Lansing like a bulldog, 2A, no matter what. And she's in the second closest district in the whole state of Michigan. They talk about purple, you know, because you've got this whole gang warfare thing, red versus blue. Well, she's in the second tightest district. She's supposed to be a moderate. You have to be a moderate to get reelected, they'll tell people that's in a swing district. Nope. Not on the Second Amendment, she's not. Not on other stuff that's important. So if I'm going to have somebody like that that's willing to go into the, basically Lansing's its own miniature swamp. We'll call it the dungeon, Gretchen's Dungeon in Lansing. And there's a lot of power being a representative, and a lot of people, when they're in a close district, will say, well, maybe I'll compromise and vote for a couple of the gun control bills because they want to keep their job and keep that paycheck and that. Now, I want her to keep serving our district, the 28th district, and she is going to keep her job because the Second Amendment is a winning thing. And regardless of what some of the lobbyists will tell you, regardless of what some of the establishment people will tell you, there's a lot of 2A people around Michigan. Believe it or not. And they're going to have to believe it or not because there's a lot more Second Amendment supporters in Michigan than people think. So if my 2A rep's going to put her job on the line to say 2A, no matter what, even if she's not going to, it's not going to happen. But even if someone told her, you're going to lose the election next time, she's just a first-term rep. If you vote no on all these gun control bills, She's still voting no on all of them. So it's the least I could do to help get her into a good concealed carry piece and try to help her out the best I can. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I don't have the credentials to be an internet instructor because I'm not a Navy SEAL, but in real life, I usually can help people out, and I try to when I can. She did a live stream with me on here a couple months ago. If you guys want her as a guest again, you know what you guys should do for fun? I put the link to her state of Michigan website. Let's do this for fun, just to show people that people are activists and care about the 2A. I put State Representative Jamie Thompson's contact info down there in the description. When you're done tonight, either send her an email or call her office. You can wait till Monday to call if you want, or just leave them a voicemail and say, hey, we want you on the 2A EDU live stream again. See what she says. I just want to see if you guys will do it. I want to see enough of you guys will do it to where I get a text or a call from her first of the week that says, "Jeez, oh Pete." It just sounds fun to me. I have her cell phone number. I could call her myself, but I want to see if you guys will do it just to mess with them. Well, not really to mess with them. If enough of you call, she'll be calling me being like, oh, crap. I got to get on the show again. All right. What do we got here, Linda? I saw some super chats. Let's get to those first. I definitely want to thank the people that help keep the lights on here, and then I will check some of the other ones momentarily after that. DLD After Dark with his member super chat. Thank you, Linda, for grabbing that over there on the other chat. Says, Vibratite sounds dirty. Tee-hee-hee. Probably if you got it on your hands, you probably want to use some like rubbing alcohol or something and wipe it off as soon as you can. You don't want to get your hands dirty. Good eye on that one, man. Definitely don't want to get your hands dirty by getting the Vibratite on there. If it hardened, it might not wash off too easy. DLD After Dark coming in with a super chat. Thanks, man. He says, hey, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. Cool. I actually really need one. So timing couldn't be more perfect. LOL. Got a G26 and a 33. So he can go +2 or +1. It was kind of like one of those things where I'm like, I wonder if DLD has a... No, I didn't wonder too long. What do you think, John Crump? How long did I wonder if DLD has a use for a Glock mag extension? What do you think, Crump? What are the odds that DLD has a Glock? What else have we got, Linda? Patrick Fellers, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. He says, miss your gun talks. Cool. He says, good break from politics. In the words of two great action stars, yippee-ki-yay, bleep bleep, mother. Thanks, man. Even though I just got done talking about a politician, hopefully that didn't ruin it for you. But I wasn't talking like in the boring, like whatever. I was talking like, dude, like I have a video coming out teaching my state rep how to shoot. And we're like really, really good friends. And I have a holster that I'm going to give her as a gift, which I can technically do because it's below $30 in value. So for all of you guys watching right now, you have to watch like giving people like that gifts. Like if you give a politician too much of a gift, you have to register as like a registered lobbyist and stuff. And if I can't give her this holster, I don't know. I'll sell it to her for like, I don't know, whatever. I'll do it completely legally. I think you can give them like less than a $50 or less than a $30 item, something like that. I think. And if I'm not allowed to, then I won't give it to her. John Crump News with a super chat. Thanks, man. He says, super chatting from my news channel. You're having the same issue with your live channel that QD's having, aren't you? Yeah, this sucks, guys. This is how bad YouTube's getting. And look, if I got one super chat, that's totally awesome, okay? I don't take any of it for granted, but there's some people that have a little bit of extra coin that are wanting to like help keep this channel going. And YouTube's blocking. I can confirm from like talking and texting to 2 people in the last 3 days that they're now blocking them from even being able to super chat this channel at all. And my channel's not demonetized right now either. It has been before, but it's not now. They're just saying, nope, you're completely shut off. So, yes, it's getting to the point where you can't even have your own people support you in many cases. Thanks, John. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Because I've definitely gotten super chats from you on your live channel before, but I'm willing to bet money that's the case. And then he just doubled down and left me the same exact one again. So I don't know if that was an error or if you're just trying to help me, but 2 identical super chats from John Crump News. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. He says, super chatting from my news channel. Who has more Glocks, DLD After Dark or John Crump News? Actually, who has more Glocks, I wonder? John Crump News or John Crump Live? Because knowing him, they're probably 2 completely different entities, if I had to guess. Not sure. Don't answer me that publicly, John. I'm just saying, who has more Glocks? DLD After Dark, John Crump News, or John Crump Live? And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Flying Rich is going to come in with his airplane and crash, and he has like 30,000 Glocks and just like left both of them in tears. Like, not tears because he crashed, tears because they're laughing at him and they're jealous that he probably has more Glocks. Thanks, John. DLD After Dark. Thanks for another super chat. He says, super chatting from my banned channel. The DLD After Dark channel is banned. From what I understand, something that happened over 2 years ago that he didn't even say. So there you go. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. And shout out to the DLD After Dark channel when it becomes back within the good favor of Susan Wiki. Here's where you went wrong, dude. You got to be a member of the fan club. It's hard to get in the fan club. But if you can get in there, I can't tell you guys completely what I did to get in the fan club. I mean, you don't just buy the sticker and get in. My wife's watching. Darling, are you still watching? All right, I see her name on the bottom there. All right, I can't tell you guys exactly how I got in the Susan Wiki fan club. My wife's watching. So, all right, thanks, DLD. She's like, ooh, I'm not watching anymore. No, she's still watching. All right. Mike McClune with a super chat. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. He says super chat from the 724. If you change that 1 digit, that would 724. There's 734 in Southeast Michigan. I might know 1 or 2 people with that zip code. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it, dude. And a channel member and a longtime friend of the channel. Marco Polo, there he is. He says, great stream tonight. Lots of fun. Well, thanks for the super chat. And we're going to have to think of a way to do this a little bit later in the stream. Not like too much later. But, yeah, here's a teaser real quick. I'm going to give away something else. That's sponsored again by Marco Polo. He just literally sent me a box of stuff and said, dude, give this stuff away. Thank you. Make it more fun. And we've already given away at least 3 things on locals. Just cooked up DLD right here. Email me, Ross, by the way. I meant to say this like 20 minutes ago. I don't know if I did. Email me, Ross, and say that I'll send you something, dude. Because Ross technically guessed the Kel-Tec first. Ross 77. There we go. Ron Wayne. What's happening, Ron Wayne? Shout out to the Ron Wayne channel. Thanks for the super chat. He said, shout out to the Craig Brotherhood. You know, that shows what a small world it is. I put a video up on YouTube. Jeez, man, how long has that been? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? And it was just kind of like old guns, right? I can't remember what the name of it was. It was like my least viewed video that I had posted like almost all year. And it had a Craig Jorgensen in it. And Ron saw that video and At that time, he didn't have one yet, right? I want to make sure I'm telling this story correctly. I know you have one now, but you didn't have one yet, but you were looking into it. And he watched that video, subscribed, and now he's one of the regulars on this live stream. Him and his wife, Misty, been a regular on Locals since I started that community. So, yeah, that's cool, man. And yes, we're both Craig brothers. We both have Craig Jorgensen rifles. Made in the late 1800s. Pretty short service life, actually. A couple slight variations, but 1898. Is that what yours is? 1898 Craig Jorgensen? And yeah, they still use the old 30-40, meaning 30 caliber, 40 grains of black powder. That was right around the time. You figure, you've got the trapdoor rifle. 1873, 1878. Single shot, 45 government, otherwise known as 45-70, big old rifle cartridge, 45 caliber, 70 grains of black powder. Went in there with those, it was like, yeah, not so much. See, we were fighting against basically essentially Mexico that was using Mauser actions. And they're running around with repeaters, okay? The Mauser action, I mean, you can't deny it. Most of the bolt action rifles you're buying today are still Mauser actions. If you have a Remington 700, that's a Mauser action, okay? So they're kind of like, didn't whip our butts, but it's like, geez, oh, Pete, are we behind? Wow. Trapdoor's still a breech loader, but we had just come from muzzle loaders into the breech loading era with this big 45-70. It's an awesome round. Even the government loading, which is much weaker than a lot of the modern hunting loads today. Heck of a round, but at the end of the day, it was a single shot. So we're looking at some of these Mausers, mainly chambered. If you look at any of the South American, Central American type countries, they usually gravitate towards the 7mm Mauser chambering for a couple reasons. First of all, you could argue, the BC and the terminal ballistics and the flatter trajectory. 7mm Mauser is a great round, but let's face it, we're also talking about generally smaller to stature people. And the 7mm Mauser still has some whack to it downrange, but substantially less recoil than the 8mm Mauser. Now, there's no free lunch. I'm not going to just real quick in 2 minutes say which one's better than the other, but you'll find a lot of your South American, Central American Mausers that in many cases, in most cases, were made on contract, right? Where they'd ship them over from Europe in a contract. And they tended more towards 7mm Mausers, although occasionally would use 8. But 8mm Mauser was more of a European thing. So they're using repeaters. And it's like, whoa, we're technologically behind than we were. Shifted over to the Craig Jorgensen. It's a cool rifle. And it's kind of mainly almost like forgotten history because the United States military only fielded them in frontline service for just about 5-6 years. I might be off a little bit. I don't have any notes in front of me, but certainly like less than a decade. And then I was heading somewhere with this, the American Mauser, the Springfield 1903, originally chambered in 30-03. It's a Mauser action. In fact, such a Mauser action that the United States had to pay the Mauser brothers, the Mauser company, a royalty for much of the production of the Springfield 1903. And yes, originally in 1903, chambered in 30-03. Now hold on a minute. 45-70. That's 45 caliber, 70 grains of black powder. 30-40 Craig. That's 30 caliber, 40 grains of black powder. 30-30. You could keep going, and it's the same thing. 30-03. Now that was 30 caliber of the year 1903. And that cartridge was basically already behind the day it was made. Now we have the proven Mauser action. Check. 30-03, more of a ball-nosed round. While everyone else was going to or already using or had already been using more of a Spitzer round. If you look at like 8mm Mauser, it would undergo a chambering. And I wish I could touch guns because I could show you a couple old antique. You're not allowed to touch real or fake guns on YouTube, just so you guys know. You can't even hold up a squirt gun, real or fake. But I have a couple old antique Germans like the Gerwehr 88, Gerwehr 98s, where you can see where they would put the new proof mark showing it was chambered for the new 8mm Spitzer round. Well, the U.S. was no different. 30-03, 1903. They would make those rifles for just a couple years. And I actually have one of those that was made in 1903. It's like serial number 13,000. But then in 1906, they would come out with a 30-06. So 30 caliber of 1906. And then that just became just a legendary rifle. You know, they had them in stockpile for World War I. Slowed down on production and brought them back with a vengeance for World War II, and millions were made. Now, mine was rebarreled in 1917, I believe, to 30-06. I think there might be one or two examples in museums only that are still chambered, the whole thing in 30-3. So I got on a long tangent about that, but you guys said you like it when I talk about guns, and I know a little bit about guns. Hutchin Gibbous with a super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. He says, testing, 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? Yes, it is. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. All right. What else have we got, Linda? Uh-oh. John Crump news. I don't know, man. I got to verify this. Rich has 0 Glocks. Really? Well, you or DLD better help him out and hook him up then. Jeez, oh, Pete. I know you guys have got connections to Glock. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Do I believe this guy? I was just talking to him on the phone a couple hours ago. No, we're still friends, John. I might believe you a little bit. What do you guys think? Do I believe him on that? I bet you Flying Rich has more guns than you and DLD combined. I guess I'll believe you. Only because we're friends. Ooh, I'm not sure. Thanks, Crump. We got some more questions, Linda? R. Rodriguez, thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat, dude. It's hard for me to see the thumbnail there. Is that Rob? You don't have to dox yourself. It's hard to see the thumbnail from the... He says, never stop what you're doing. Super generous super chat. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, man. And now you might be banned from ever giving me super chats again. I don't know. They're hitting so many people on here. Thank you. I appreciate it, dude. Oh, man, I wish so bad I could just go like in the back room and start picking up guns. Did anyone used to watch my YouTube streams when I did that? I still do that on locals. What's up, Denny's Plant-Based Journey? Nice to see you, man. It is Rob. What's happening, Rob? Nice to see you, dude. Shout out to Rob and 2A Patriot. Dude, this is the thing. I did an awesome video. 2A Days is an awesome event, guys. If you missed it this last year, sucks to be you, but he'll be doing another one next year. I've gone to all of them they've done. What have we done? 3 or 4 now that I've been to? Anyways, I did a video there with Christina Caramo, and I literally have to edit this video because I can do the 2A stuff and put it on YouTube. But I did a little test, and I have to put the other half on locals. So that's why I'm glad that I have locals, because she said some things that were a little bit too spicy. A little bit too spicy for YouTube. So thanks for hosting that event, Rob, and thanks for having her there. She was actually a breath of fresh air. What's up, Crazy Heathen? Nice to see you in the chat. Christopher has a question. Valise Cabre, probably pronounced it wrong. Christopher says, what do you think of the DTI 15? Now, geez, oh, Pete, I'm not an AR guy, but if I'm not mistaken, that's a Delton, right? And if so, I don't know about their current offerings, okay? And I've been told by a couple of friends that maybe they're kind of a little bit lower end AR. That's what I've been told. But I will tell you this. A friend of mine that I've known a long, long time. Now, he's had his Delton for a long time, so maybe you guys can help Christopher out in the chat here. He's had his AR for, gosh, a dozen years or more now. 15 years even. It's been a good gun for him. It's actually been a good gun. I've been told that in recent years, maybe their quality's gone down, but don't take my word for it. So I don't know that I can suggest them to you or not. That's an honest answer. But I know back in the day, yeah. Christina Caramo, not Gina Carano. Christina Caramo. All right, what else have we got, Linda? Yep, that was it. The Delton. See, I knew it looked familiar. All right, well, I already answered that one. The Delton DTI 15. Quincy Walker says, do you have a 38 special model 442? I'm really loving it. Highly recommend. I do not. I do have a couple 38 specials, though. I have a Smith & Wesson Model 10. Oh, I have an old Spanish Astra 38 special. Old police surplus from like probably the 60s or 70s. I have a Taurus Model 85. That was the first 38 special I ever bought, was the Model 85. And then I have a Taurus Model 605 Defender. And of course, that's a 357 Magnum gun, which is backwards compatible with 38 special. So no, I do not have the 442. I wish I did. Oh, you're going to send me yours? Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh, he didn't really say that. DLD, is Crump telling me the truth earlier? I don't know how I'm going to do it. You're going to have to come to Michigan, DLD. Come to Michigan on July, DLD After Dark. I'm calling you. I can't call you out because you've got just many bills to pay as I do. So I'm just going to say, if you can ever come to Michigan, let me know. July 19th, there's going to be a huge rally. There's another rally tomorrow, the 3rd, by the way. Check out Crazy Heathen's page for that. I just can't make it to that one. I told you I didn't think I was going to be able to. It's just too far, and all the chips didn't quite align for me. But anyways, there's going to be a big one July 19th in Michigan. If there was a way to do it, I'd like to introduce DLD After Dark and Crazy Heathen to each other. I don't know why, but I have a feeling you guys could become good friends pretty quick. But no, I'm not going to call you out and say you have to come to Michigan, DLD, because then Crump will call me out and say I have to come to Virginia, because Crump did invite me to Virginia a couple days ago, and I might actually do it. We'll have to see. Chanzig says, do you think building your own rifle is a thing of the past now, considering laws in 3D printing? I don't think so, and I certainly hope it doesn't become a thing of the past. Now, building a rifle is one of the most important fundamental parts of the right to keep and bear arms, and that it shall not be infringed. Very, very important. You know, there's 3D printers now. There's different ways that they do it, but it's basically like a dust, and then the laser kind of like fused it together. But metal 3D printers are actually starting to become more affordable. They're still too expensive for most. 10, 15 grand, you could get into something decent that's able to print like Firearms worthy metal. So no, I don't think 3D printing is a thing of the past. I think it actually hasn't even hardly started yet, if you want my honest opinion. I really think so. I mean, it started and it's pretty prolific, but compared to where it will be someday, look, Hunter Biden, where's Hunter, right? Where's Hunter? Is he over on the board of Burisma? Where is he at? Is he in the Ukraine? Is he in Russia? Where? He's in the Ukraine. Okay. Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter is about to use the so-called Bruin decision, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin case, that basically says all gun control is unconstitutional. The courts are slow. It's going to take years for it to, but look, the former vice president's son, where's Hunter? He's getting ready to use the Bruin defense, quote unquote. That's interesting. That's a super interesting topic. They want to use the 2A to their advantage when they can. Now, that doesn't mean that his dad, his whatever he is going to, he doesn't even know where he's at, but he's going to lead an effective strategy to mobilize the pressure. And he falls over. Remember, he went to avoid his own shadow and fell on it. He fell on his own shadow. Now, look, they want to ban every last gun, but man, You can't stop love, as the saying goes, and it's hard to stop digital zeros and ones. It's called binary code. Ting Ting, what's happening, Ting Ting? Nice to see you. You've either changed your name or I haven't seen you on here in a long time. Says, building rifles out of parts or blacksmith is essential to freedom. Yes, I agree with you. And building a rifle means many, many things, clearly. A lot of people, when they say build their own, they're literally saying like they're going to heat it up in the fire, put it on the anvil, and hit it with a hammer. I know there's a lot more to it than that, but that could be building your own rifle. It could be printing. It could be so many different things. It's not even funny. It could be welding. It could be re-welding, right? It could be CNC machining. I mean, you can buy tabletop CNC machines now. Just think about that. They can CNC not only plastic and aluminum, but even steel. Okay. Oh, boy. Edward Kachunian. Oh, man. Ooh, that's a tough one. What's your favorite AK? Oh, my gosh. Pass? Not because I don't like AKs, just because, oh, my gosh, how do I say my favorite? Oh, geez. Can I list 50? I could probably narrow it down to 25. Can I narrow it down to 10? Anything less than 10, I don't even know if I could do it or not. Huh. Favorite AK? You either have no idea how much I like the AK, or you do know how much I do, and you're laughing your butt off right now. Favorite? Wow. Well, a lot of you guys like this Hugo M64 that's hanging behind me. Milled receiver. Actually has a working bolt hold open. Original barrel. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's my favorite. I like my Polytech Legend quite a bit. I like my so-called movie gun, which is a Chinese pre-band, meaning pre-89 band, so all original parts. Double folder. Underfolding stock and folding spike bayonet. So it's a spiker and an underfolder. They call it a double underfolder or a double folder. And they call the specific one I'm talking about a movie gun because it was imported by RAI, which was a movie prop house. So it's literally provable that it was brought in as a prop for the movie industry. Think of old movies like Rambo and stuff like that, that era in the 80s. My Hungarian AKM 63 with blue food grade polymer furniture is pretty nifty. Now, speaking of Yugos, my Yugo M70 AB2 underfolding paratrooper RPK is pretty cool. My Tula Russian. What I keep ready to go at my house and shop is a Wasser 1063. I have a couple of them. Believe it or not. I have a Wasser 1063 that was actually used by Ugandan contractors in the Iraq War and brought back. So it's actually like a true bring back war-used rifle, which is a pretty interesting little footnote of history. Because almost all AKs, literally like all of them but these that I know of, they'd have to cut them up into a parts kit before they could be brought back because they're full auto. But this United States-based defense contractor actually purchased semi-auto Wasser 1063s. The 1063 is the older Romanian WASR, is what I'm talking about. Romanian Wasser 1063. It's an AK 7.62x39. And they would build them off original parts kits up until a certain point, maybe 10 years ago. And now they're made out of all new production. But they're made at the Cougar factory in Romania. Basically a semi-auto version of the Romanian PM Model 63. 1963 is the year that the Romanians started fielding the AKM, basically a Russian clone at that time. So I'm just giving you guys a little history that don't know anything about AKs. Well, the Wasser 1063s, they bought them, sent them over. They were actually used in the war in Iraq, but they were semi-auto. Used mainly for guard duty at like FOBs and whatnot, right? So they brought them back to the U.S. after they saw war duty, and there was a small amount of them that became available. I snatched one up. Wish I would have snatched 10 up. So that's a rifle that doesn't sound too interesting at first till I tell you it was actually used in a war, and I own it like 100% intact. If you look in the crevices of it and like underneath the lever and whatnot, you can still see that sandbox powder, sand, sugar, sand, dust. Oh gosh, it goes on and on and on. I like my Hungarian AK-55, which is an early milled receiver. See the rabbit hole you open? All right, I've got to stop because I keep talking about AKs and I could go for quite a while. And I need to catch up on the chat here. Quincy Walker says, I've been looking into Glocks. Any suggestions and why? Look, this whole like making fun of Glocks back and forth, this was just friendly banner in the chat. I assume you guys were being friendly, right? I do like my PSL, Edward, by the way, but it's an AK. It's a big AK, but, you know, anyways, I saw that corner of my eye. Glocks. Look, we could go back and forth and banter about it. They're a good gun. They're not my favorite, though. I don't like the Glock hump. It doesn't point naturally for me. As I've been told. I don't know if Mateo's in the chat, but he's told me, and I do believe him. I just don't have the money to go buy a new Gen 5 Glocks. He says the Gen 5s, the hump in the back is a lot more demure. So if you're a Glock hump fan, you know what I'm talking about? The back of the grip has like a hump in it. It's not really the grip angle. It's actually the hump. People say Glock has a weird grip angle. It's not really the angle that's weird. It's the hump in the back, the hump back grip. If you love that, I guess get yourself a Gen 2 and Gen 3. They seem to have the most prominent hump. Okay. Gen 5, the hump in the back is much more demure. So from what I've heard, there's been lots of improvements on the Gen 5s, like improvements that actually matter. Is there anything wrong with a Gen 3? No. Look, it depends if you're a Glock fanboy. Do you get the Glock knuckle? Do you like the stippling? Do you don't like the stippling? What type of grip do you like? Do you like finger grooves? You don't like finger grooves. See what I mean? It's a complicated topic. And it gets very, very nuanced for Glock fans. So chime in, Glock fans, okay? See if you can. It's a good question. It's just a question that makes me ask like 100 more questions. But I will say this, especially if you're looking at like a 40, okay? Or a 10 millimeter, something that's got a little more pop to it than 9. Probably look into a Gen 5. Because I'll tell you guys this as a matter of fact, not this is not me crapping on Glock, it's just true. Glock crapped the bed for years and years and years with their 40s, in many cases putting 9 millimeter recoil guide rod assemblies in their 40s. And just making the guns like way more obnoxious recoil than they needed to be. The Gen 5s are a lot more stout. If you're not a Glock hump fan on the grip frame, again, I don't know. I don't have one, but I've been told much more demure on the Gen 5s. And now every Gen 3 purist is going to get really mad at me. But we are talking Glock name brand Glock, right? I assume we are. If we're talking about other brands, well, now the sky's the limit, and that could be a whole nother hour rabbit hole. Because I'm more of a fan of the PSA Dagger than any of them. If we're just talking like not a Glocks. But if you're talking actual Glock, like Gaston Glock, owned Glock, might want to check out a Gen 5. Marco Polo could tell you about his 40 caliber. Mateo could. I know that for a fact. I don't know what DLD's into with the actual Glock brand Glocks. Maybe he could chime in on that. Geez, that sounds fun to a point, but I wouldn't, yeah, it would be fun. A couple of guys are talking about a so-called Krinkhoff, which is, that's short for like, we would have to call it a pistol here, right? But it's a SBR, short-barreled AK. I do like my M85 Hugo 5.56. That's a pretty cool one. In 7.62 by 54R, that's fun to talk about, and it'd be fun at the range. But for any practical purpose, no. Not like, I wouldn't go to war with it, okay? 7.62 by 54R, yeah. That'd just be tons of flash, tons of recoil. It's kind of like those Mosin Obras. Does anyone know what the Obras is? Like, if you've got money, you don't mind buying tax stamps, I guess you make one just for fun. But like a Mosin Obras, if you don't know what it is, just look it up. I know some of you guys are going, what's he talking about? It might not even be the cool thing anymore. But back in the day, I've been into this stuff since 1994. Yeah, 1994. A whole century ago. Yeah, the Obras. Just couldn't keep a straight face. You guys are talking about 8.3-inch barreled 760 by 54R. Oh boy, that round would suck out of a short barrel like that. Just so anyone's wondering, anyone that's not used to the round. The Guns and Glory show says, anyone suing over red flag? You talking about in Michigan? Dude, I don't know. I'm trying to find out. A viewer came into my comments and said somebody is suing over red flag. I know about it or something. I'm like, I don't know about it. They didn't care to tell me who it was. So I don't disbelieve them, but I can't believe them either till I see it. I don't know. I wish Michigan GOA would be suing over it like literally right now, but maybe it's something as simple as it needs to go into effect first. I don't know. I don't think that's completely true, though. I don't think it has to go into effect because there were pistol brace ban lawsuits pre-filed like almost a year ago. If you're talking about Michigan, I don't know the answer to that. And I'm frustrated. I don't know the answer to that. So there you go. If I knew the answer and I just couldn't say anything about it, I would be answering the question differently. Trust me. Sometimes I found out about stuff I can't talk about publicly because then the other side could find out and start tooling up for it. So I know how to keep my mouth shut, but I'm just telling you the truth, dude. I don't know about anything. But I wish I did. I'll tell you guys the best bang for the buck. If you go over to my locals, I can't talk about it here, but man, that OD green Blam I have from PSA, it's like 599 free S and H. And I have links for that stuff that'll help the channel too over on my locals. Oh my gosh, we tried to cook that thing. Like 1 hour and 5 minutes, 1,000 rounds. The thing looks perfect inside. I haven't cleaned it yet. Taking it back out to the range for more. Whew. I mean, from the AK Curious historical standpoint, it doesn't have the cool factor of like a pre-ban or an old original parts kit build. I get that. It never will, but geez, oh, Pete. Man, I can't say enough about it. We'll check my locals later tonight, guys. I'm going to make a note right now. I will post the exact one I'm talking about. Some of you guys already know. Probably 90% of you don't. Look, I love being on YouTube too, and I know it's hard to get people to cross over there, but I do stuff there I just can't do here. I can't talk about here. All right, I will post that on locals tonight so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Ultra Mega Mama Linda. There she is. Good looking girl. She says, member super chat from ADXR920. Thanks, man. He says, going to try and make the meetup this year. Cool. Pillbox said he's down for it again. So unless he changes his mind, we are definitely at his pleasure and very grateful. But we're going to try to, I think we're going to be doing our 3rd annual here soon. Marco Polo with another super chat. Thanks, man. He said, what's up with the PSA micro daggers? I don't know, man. Good question. They're selling the slides. Well, I kind of know. They'll sell the slides a la carte. They will sell the magazines a la carte when they're in stock. But the whole gun, it's like Ken, Steve, because you have to be part of some exclusive little private club to get first dibs, and then they sell out in 3 minutes, I guess. And I'm not part of that cool kids club, so I don't know. But other than that, I don't know. I did a tour of the Dagger facility, though. It is a really nice facility. I can tell you guys that. But as far as why they're not in mass production, I don't know. By the way, guys, I'm a huge fan of the 7.62x54R. Like, definitely. Have a couple AKs, an AK and an AK-ish, chambered in 54R, and a whole fleet of Mosins. You guys think I have a lot of Tauruses? You should see my Mosin collection. Bought them when they were so cheap, I couldn't afford not to buy them. Love 54R. I'm just laughing at it out of an 8-inch barrel, but I do like it. Laughing meaning it would be a good time too, though. I don't mean just like laughing, like, haha, you're stupid laughing, just like, whoa, that's hilarious. Be a flamethrower. It would definitely be a flamethrower. Uh-oh. Speaking of flamethrowers, do you see that guy in here from Texas? He's got that clover on him. I think I see him lurking, Linda. Watch out for him here. You missed it, Clover Tech, if you just jumped in here. We were having a Glock debate for a little bit earlier. Yeah. Like, actual, like, kind of, it was getting a little spicy for a few minutes. Glock debates usually are spicy, actually. America the Free with a super generous super chat. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it, man. He said, thank you for your tireless pursuit of preserving our Second Amendment. You are awesome. You're awesome, dude, and I'm trying. I'm just me. I'm going to be back at the state capitol next week. There's so many questions and concerns about these Michigan red flag laws, and it's very concerning. One of the most concerning things you could even think about. I mean, it completely upends, like, half the Bill of Rights. And there's some questions, and they're legitimate questions. So I am going to do a video next week. There's a couple people that I just need to try to iron out the details up there. But I'm trying to find people with, you know, in the state legislature. So state legislators, they're the ones that make laws. The people that I'll be talking to or attempting to talk to voted against the red flag laws, to make this clear. Former law enforcement, former county commissioners. If you're still watching, Rob, I think you know the exact guy that's the best to do this. I just don't want to put his name out there and like say he's going to do it, and then if he can't, he looks bad or whatever. But if you can think of a Michigan state rep that is a legislator and a former county commissioner and a former sheriff that took his constitutional oath seriously and a former veteran. And I was texting him about it earlier last week. I'm just trying to see if I can nail something down. So. All right. Anything else, Linda? Yeah, Rob is chiming in saying that the reason no one sued you is because you have to prove your rights have been effective. That's what I think. But then there's a way to pre-file too, though. I don't know. We're going to have to get to the bottom of this a little more, Rob, because I think you're right, and that's the general answer I would give. However, they were able to pre-file these pistol, okay? The way they pre-filed these pistol brace ban lawsuits like a year in advance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Good question. But yes, I think that's the right answer, but I'm not sure. We've sued for other things like a year before it went in effect. I don't know. I almost said I wish I was a lawyer so I could answer no. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't wish I was a lawyer, and I do not want to be a politician either. That's two things I don't want to be. That micro dagger is hard to find, guys. Clover's saying he wants one. What good is a micro dagger anyways? Oh, he said what good? I thought he said the micro dagger is the best thing. He said maybe cutting some sewing thread, right? A micro dagger. Do you guys get it? Okay. DLD After Dark says, so not to throw shade to a EDU. In general, curious. So that means you're going to throw shade, but that's fine. What are your thoughts on Taurus promoting gun control in Brazil? Did you look into that at all? That's real simple. First of all, I looked into it, yes. And it isn't what's reported. I do not agree with some of the reports that have come out on that, first of all. Second of all, that's not in my country. It's none of my darn business. Not that I don't care about Brazilians. I'm not saying that at all. I have no standing to opine on Brazilian laws. I don't. And I say that because I have to stay true to myself, and I'm very consistent with this. I have people time and time again that come into my videos and they'll say, well, I live in England, and I have some people from England that are probably going to watch this on replay that are awesome people. I've said this many times. Every country in the world, there's awesome people that live there, and there's not so awesome people that live there. But they'll come in and they'll say, I'm in England. You guys in the United States should get rid of your Second Amendment. You don't need guns. We live a certain way with no guns here in England, so you don't need them in the U.S. And that just burns me up when they do that. Like, it's worse than like, and I know they're just a troll or whatever, and so it doesn't like make me not sleep at night, but just for a second, I'm like, really? You have no standing. You don't live in my country. Even a POS that lives in my country that wants to ban every last gun, I vehemently disagree with them, and they do drive me nuts. However, they do live here, and if they are an American citizen and they live here, if they're an American citizen and they live here, I know there's many that are not, and that's a whole nother topic, but if they live here and they're an American, they at least have standing to make that argument. Now, the Constitution would say, no, that preposterous law you want's unconstitutional. And the Constitution would need to smack that down through our court system and all of our legislators that are supposed to be following their oath. So, since I tell people you have no right at all to talk about the Second Amendment of the United States unless you're an American citizen, I have no right to opine on Brazil's domestic policies at all. With that said, that doesn't mean I don't care about people who live in Brazil, because I believe all people have a natural right to keep and bear arms. They do. But now you're talking about policies. Now you're talking about laws. And laws are government of a country that I just don't live in. And all these people in these other countries need to leave us the heck alone. Okay? And we need to leave them alone on it, to be fair. This is a case of what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Many fine people from Brazil come into my comment sections a lot and really like the Taurus firearms. And just like to be cool people. I know for a fact there's awesome people who live in Brazil, and God bless you guys if anyone's watching from there. I truly feel for you. With that said, God bless the United States, because we need it here too. We're only one generation away. If we get a little more apathetic or a little more totalitarian in our government, from losing it all too. So I know that was kind of a long-winded answer, but first of all, I don't accept the premise 100% of the question, actually. I actually have seen some things that actually somewhat refute the premise. But, although I don't agree with the premise, and I think it's a false premise-ish, it's a somewhat false premise, even if it was a valid premise. That's my thoughts on it. All right. Anything else, Linda? I'm going to take a peek at the chat here and see if I can find anything. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, actually. It's been good hanging out with you guys. If nobody has any more questions, I could wrap it up here in just a minute. What's up, G23? Nice to see you, man. Laurie DeVries, what's happening, Laurie? Nice to see you. Yeah, you guys ask a simple question, and I'll go off on tangents. Hopefully, it's stuff that is interesting. We've talked about quite a few topics tonight, actually. We talked about Glocks. We talked about Delton ARs. I brought up the Obrez Mosin. I think it's just spelled like O-B-R-E-Z, Obrez, O-B-E-R-E-Z. I don't know. I know it when I see it. It's called the Obrez Mosin. You guys can look that up. We talked about that. That's interesting. What else? Talked about the Craig Jorgensen. And look, I like the Springfield trapdoor. Are you still watching, Susan, or is it behind her bedtime? Susan's still watching. Look, it's so far away, Susan. I couldn't see it if I had to. But if I weren't on YouTube, there might be one over there. It's not here, YouTube. But it's so far away. See, what YouTube doesn't get is when I say there's one over there, I'm looking at a video monitor watching video footage of one that's at least 50 miles away. Susan was right on the button. She's like, okay, right over there, 50 miles away. All right. She's like, you sure it's not 49.9 miles? I'm like, sorry, darling, it's 50 miles exactly away. Couldn't touch it if I had to. What's happening, Cameron Rhodes? Good to see you. What's happening, Pablo? My Mahdi is the best. Nice. Are you talking an Egyptian pre-ban or that was brought in pre-89, only a few, or like a Misr Mahdi? Or I have a couple Egyptian parts kits, actually. A crutch folder, they're called. It's a side folder, and it kind of looks like a crutch. So I have a crutch folder parts kit, Egyptian, and I have a fixed stock Egyptian. But they're both parts kits that I've not had built, and yeah. I kind of like to keep parts kits, actually, in and of themselves. They're interesting. Okay, we do have a couple more questions here. I'm going to grab a couple of those. Susan was cut. Now we have another new season. No. She was cut from CEO, but last time I checked her bio, she's still working as a consultant. See? She actually almost quit YouTube altogether, I heard. And then she said, no, I like the 2A Edu channel too much. And she looks forward to this stream too much every Friday. So she couldn't quit. She became a consultant. Which is fine. I look forward to it. All right, what else have we got here? G23 says, what's happening, G23? Shout out to the G23 channel. Says, so what is your thoughts about somewhere between 6.6 to 8% of the people registered for the brace? Well, I'll just leave it this way. It's been a happy-go-lucky stream tonight. And if there's anybody that did register the brace, I don't want to ruin their night. So I'll just say this. I would have loved if it would have been 0. So with that said, if it's less than 1%, meaning that's not very many, in one way, that's like infinitely too many. But that's not many. So I guess that's good news, right? But not completely good news because I wish it would have been 0. I don't tell you guys all of my affairs, and I'm not going to say them all publicly, but I didn't register any pistol braces. Promise you that. That's one thing I can promise you. I did not register. No free tax stamp to me. SKS. Oh, geez, I love the SKS. SKS, first rifle I bought in 1994. That's what literally wasn't the first gun I ever shot, but Glenfield Model 60 single shot 22 is for sure the very first gun I ever shot. Okay. But the first gun I ever bought with my own money was a SKS, Chinese, Type 56 rifle, right? Man, my Yugo Parade SKSs are pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I don't show enough of my guns on here. Well, I can't show them on YouTube, a live stream, but I mean in regular videos. I feel like I always have to fight because there's so much gun control, there's so much evil in this world. It's fun to sit and show guns, and I do like to do that. I usually do. That's usually kind of what I do on locals, to be honest. You guys that watch my local streams can vouch for that. But I don't know, man. I'm not just going to sit there and only focus on guns while they just take everything and just go completely silently either. Rob says, might want to mention that John Lott will be speaking at the LCGOP Lincoln Day dinner. Yes. And I need to find a place where I can post all the info because, like you had said, they had changed the dates a couple times. But I believe this is coming up at the end of July. So I will confirm the exact time and get all that info, okay? And I'll put it up here in a community post soon. That would be a cool event you guys might want to come to. Because, yes, it's a Republican Party event. I know some of you are like, oh, it's politics, I'm out. But, man, I'll tell you what, the opportunity to come and listen to John Lott speak would be awesome. I mean, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing to be able to listen to him speak. Now, I heard him speak at the state legislature, in front of the state legislature, and their judiciary hearing, okay? But he was rudely interrupted, and he wasn't able to truly speak. But, yes, he's a gem. He's a gem, and nobody's around forever, and if you ever have the chance in your life to hear Dr. John Lott speak, it's a pretty big deal. If you guys haven't heard of him, definitely look him up. Ooh, Mateo just chimed in. I told you guys are getting a little spicy tonight. I think Linda may have gone to bed because I don't see anything start anymore. So I'll try to catch up just a little bit. And it looks like I just got a text with the info. So I will be able to get that to you guys soon. Mateo says, what? 6 to 8% of the gun community is mentally deficient? I don't know. I mean, that's possible. Chris Plummer, what's happening, Chris? G3C, so Taurus, G3C, or GX4? Do you like one more than the other? Well, they're not exactly in the same category, so it's hard to pen them up that way. But if I had to give you a real quick answer, GX4. It's a chassis gun. It holds almost as much as the G3C. In my opinion, has less felt recoil and muzzle flip, but I think it's just because I've shot so much and I'm just extremely strong or something. Well, you guys already know I'm extremely strong, but I don't think any 9mm recoil is my point. However, yeah, just the GX4. It shoots really smooth in my opinion, especially the XL. But that doesn't mean like I don't like the G3C either. But if you wanted an answer, there it goes. Ron Wayne wants to know, what would I like to see Taurus come out with in the future? Probably a GX4 and then a GX4 XL and 380. And not even because it's anything I would carry. I just think it's something that they're lacking in the market. I actually like the little Taurus Spectrum. That's a great little shooter. They stopped that production of that. So, yeah, just for other people that really, like 380s or need to shoot 380s, because you can make a 380 more of a light rack, like Ruger calls it, easy to rack. I have a Ruger Security 380, not right here, Susan, not literally right here, that I need to get a review of very soon because somebody's loaning it to me so I can do a review on it. So, yeah. I know that sounded weird, but even though it wouldn't be my EDC, because Ruger makes an LCP Max that's like half the size, but I'm saying just a little bit bigger gun. More like a GX4, GX4 XL, and 380. And I just want it there because of the, just so the community can have it. And I think it'd be a fun gun. I mean, I'd still buy one and I'd still love to shoot it and all that, of course. Band Talk, what's happening, Band Talk? How you doing, man? He said, I didn't register. Was out shooting them today. LOL. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I like that. Not giving anyone legal advice, but I'm just reading what my friend said. And he is my friend. I know him in real life. And, hey, that's not encouraging anyone to do or not do anything. Do your thing. But that put a smile on my face. I liked that one. Frederick Davison. That doesn't sound very nice. Be nice tonight, guys. Be nice. Chinese Mac 90s. I have a few Mac 90s. There was the Chinese Mac 90, and then there was the NHM 91s. So maybe you're conflating two things there, but yeah, the Chinese Mac 90s. Geez, those used to be like disposable cheap, but not so much anymore. Those have gone up in price. They're a fine gun. Thumb hole stock and all. What's happening, Gort? Nice to see you. Ruthless Rex. Nice to see you. Remington 870, first gun. Not my first gun, but my first shotgun. My first guns that I bought with my own money. Let me see if I can go in the right order here. SKS number 1, no matter what. Okay, these next two, I can't remember which one was which, but they were sometime after. I'm talking like bought with my own money. Okay. So there was a, let's see here. I'm going to say the Remington 870 was number 2. So it was the first shotgun I bought, and I think it was the second gun I ever bought. And right around that same time, I bought a Savage Stevens, whatever, model 64. 22 long rifle. And yeah, and then I bought a Ruger Mark II, 22. And those were the first 4 guns that I bought. I can't remember if the model 64, the Savage, I think it was Savage Stevens at the time. I think they had done that merger. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, Dave. But yeah, it was a model 64 and then the 870. I can't. I'm going to say the shotgun was the second gun I ever bought. 870 Express, Woodstock. Express Magnum, Woodstock, right? Patrick Fellers, thanks for another super chat. He says, what is your take on 9mm foldable rifles? Well, it depends which one. I have not shot the Smith. There's a bunch of them. The Kel-Tec, I think it's cool. It needs some upgrades out of the box, though. I could not sight in on that thing at all. Like, with the sights that it had, even with my low pro hearing protection, right? Like, you guys that shoot AKs know what I'm talking about. You better have pretty low profile earmuffs before you can shoot an AK. If not, it's just going to jack your earmuff up on your ear, right? And I couldn't get down on the rifle low enough to see through it. So, cool concept. Takes Glock mags. Cool. I know they make other ones that take other mags, but most of the most popular ones take Glock mags. They're okay, sure. But I don't have them all, so I've never shot all of them. Yes, John Lott really knows his stuff. That's true. Oh, you're asking that as a question? Yes. Yes, I asserted that earlier. John Lott Jr., sure. One thing great about having the volunteer fire department across from where you're at, well, not really right across, but like within the traffic way of it. Who else have we got hanging out in here? See, it's only showing me the top chat, keep in mind, because I'm in StreamYard, so I don't get to see all of them, unfortunately. Jane Locke says the first gun I shot was some 22 short at the carnival at the Michigan State Fair. Nice. Nice. The Taurus MP5. Jeez, oh Pete. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but cool. If they made one, yeah. Instead, the company that's main motto is "You suck and we hate you," they'll sell you a pistol for like $3,000. I'm not selling anything YouTube. If you heard me say that, that's just for educational reference point. All right, I'm going to give something away here. And I am going to It got rid of the starred comments. So that got rid of my plan as far as how I was going to give this away. Just give me a second here. See if I can come up with a plan B. If not, I'm going to have to do a post. Well, Patrick, I did give you my opinion on the Kel-Tec. I think it's cool. It was hard for me to shoot, but I do think it's really cool. And the M&P looks cool, but I never shot one and don't have one. So I just don't know. I'd like to give you better advice on that. I'm just not too well-rounded on it. We have, geez, look at all these good people in the chat right now. I'm trying to say hi to all you guys. JJ Rainey, what's up? Nice to see you, dude. What's up, Jason? Nice to see you. Johnny Propane says, I remember buying my first Mosin with all kinds of milsurp stuff. Still wrapped in wax paper. Cost $129 off the door. First SKS was $300. Nice, man. And that's not too awfully long ago. You're talking like 10, 12 years ago's price, aren't you? My first SKS was like $100. And first Mosins were like $50, 59, something like that. Now, I'm not bragging like, haha, I bought mine. No, I'm saying those are awesome prices. Mosins go for like $400 now for just kind of like a high production war year, like a 42, 43, something like that, where they made just tons of them. Those are $400 now for an Ijevsk round receiver. SKSs, I'd have to check the price of those. Last SKS I bought, last one I bought was $150. Asterix, it had a completely broken missing stock, so that doesn't really count because it was like half a rifle. That doesn't really count. And it didn't have a magazine, so I won't count that. Last complete SKS I bought, I think was one of those spike bayonet Vietnam era ones that came in via neutral third country because there's been a ban on importing rifles from China since 94. But if they were in a neutral country for at least 10 years, then they can, or maybe it's 20 years, I keep forgetting, then they can come in. That was around 300-ish. The SKSs I bought before that, though, were actually quite a bit more expensive than 3 because, yes, there are rare SKSs. I'm talking quite a few years back now, but there are some that are actually quite rare. Surplus has gone up like crazy, yeah. You're welcome, Patrick. That wasn't me taking a knock at the Kel-Tec either. I do mean everything I said. They are cool. And I was shooting a friend's, okay? Just so you guys get the rest of the story. I was shooting a friend's gun. So I didn't get time to, like, I don't have a lot of experience, but I shot a mag through it, and I was kind of having a hard time shooting it. The shootability of it was really tough. Now, I have viewers over on Locals that have bought them and left me comments and said, you just got to buy the right riser and put a red dot on there, and it's just like, boom. That may be the case. I can definitely see that. And there's even ways you can do it where it can still fold. So there's things you can do. Just right out of the box with that. Ugh. And I'm not knocking the gun still, but there's one thing I will knock, like the sights or whatever they want to call them, the so-called sights. They're tough. They're really, really tough. P11 trigger pull. I have no idea, but I do have a Grendel P12 in the other room that I showed on Locals the other day. Before there was Kel-Tec, there was this Grendel for all of you history majors out there. Yeah, I love the SKS. I love the SKS. Tilting bolt, piston design. And there we go. I knew Rob sent that to me. Rob sent me the Lincoln Day dinner right here. We actually have several guests. Jeez, oh, Pete. I'm lucky I have friends in high places, aren't I? You guys know Rob, 2A Patriot. He's the one that gave me the big 2A sign. It's been up here ever since. Well, Rick technically brought it over. Rick and Rob. It was from both of them. I think Rick got it from Rob's minivan or whatever he was driving at the time and then drove it over here, right? Rob's like, that's where that ended up at when he stole it and Rick carjacked him. Oh, geez, oh, Pete, there are some nice guests here. I'm not going to give you guys the teaser. Yeah, I'm going to stay tuned. I'm going to post it up here. I'll post it on YouTube and locals and Facebook and all that. All right, I'm going to take one last peek and then I'm going to jump off here. Jeremy Wilson's chiming in. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but if you guys want to see the Ruger Security 380 in action, okay, go to the Jeremy Wilson channel. You can see him shooting it. So if you want to see his review, go check out his review. We'll see if we can get him more subs than one of our other friends tonight. Jeremy Wilson channel has a review of this Ruger right here, and I'm going to be reviewing it soon. See what I think. Best way to shoot the Kel-Tec is with earplugs, not muffs, or else add upgrades. There you go. I like to shoot with my earmuffs on. I get tired of the in-the-ear foam ones. Ethan says, hey, man, I would like to send you a steel cut of an A2 sign. I think you're saying 2A sign, right? How can I do that? Your Mexican-American brother here. Mexican-American. Awesome. I just saw the Mexican part, and I'm like, hold on. Shipping it across the border might be a little tough, but if you want, send me an email. Are you into metal cutting? That's what it sounds like. Send me an email to 2aeduperks@gmail.com. edu perks@gmail.com. I just hit send there, so that should be in the chat. Send me a message. And thank you. You're welcome, Ruthless Rex. I want to know, so I'm going to pick a winner, and here's how I'm going to do it. Since I think Linda might have nodded off, which is fine, because, all right, let me see here. I was going to go through here and pick between the super chats. Yeah, 2A. No, it's all good. A2, though, is like an A2 AR, and I do have an A2 that I like. So I'm like, well, maybe he means A2, but it could be, yeah. There were two people, and I don't know if they're still in here tonight, but I'm going to do this real simple. There were two people here that I'm going to flip a coin between, and it's literally going to be a coin flip. And I totally appreciate everybody who helped support tonight. But I'm going to narrow it down to two people. Let me see which date I want here. 1979. That was a good year. Kennedy $50. And I am going to flip a coin. If it is America the Free, and I'm just turning this upside down, so I don't even know what way it starts. America the Free is going to be heads, and R. Rodriguez, Rob, is going to be tails. So I already nailed it down from a short list here off to the side that Linda had. Okay, so America the Free heads, R. Rodriguez is tails. All right, I'm going to flip this. I haven't even looked to see what way it's facing. And it is tails. So, do you want to see what you won? And I know you'll be able to use this because literally all you need is a pistol. This is an Uplula mag loader. And this was sponsored again by Marco Polo. Awesome friend of the channel. Been hanging out with us a long time. And geez, oh Pete, mine's just over there out of reach. But I've had one of these for like years. And it is totally awesome. So I don't know if you're still watching, Rob, but I flipped a coin fair and square. I had narrowed it down to two people. And it's an Uplula mag loader. So there you go. 9mm to 45 ACP double stack. It's seriously the best mag loader ever, in my opinion. So that'll be awesome, dude. And thank you for helping support the channel. Now, I have more stuff to give away, and I am going to give away something on locals tomorrow night in the live stream from people in the chat there. And then watch out, because I'm going to make a couple blanket posts where you guys can enter for other stuff. There you go. Awesome, dude. Oh, these aren't cheap either. I think these are like $35, something like that, but maybe even more. But these are really, really nice. Especially if you're loading tons of mags, or like have the Taurus mags where it's like really hard to get that last round in there. They are definitely sweet. What's happening, Jane? How you doing? Are you going to be at the dinner too? Yes, 1979 was a good year. That's why I keep this 1979. That's why I keep this 1979. There we go. Now it focused in. Kennedy $50. I think I have a couple of them, actually. They're like all tarnished because they just sit here in this messy shop. Yeah, here we go. Another Kennedy. Another Kennedy $50. I don't think they're worth any money. I just collect the 1979s a little bit if I get one in my change. Do you guys get these in change very often anymore? I don't very often, but once in a great while, cashier will still have one and give it out. I know if you go like 1965, maybe, it's going to be like a little bit of silver. And then if you go before that, there's more silver, right? I think maybe these had 40% silver in them in the mid-60s. I'm not a coin expert, but once you get to where there's no silver content, I think they're worth literally exactly 50 cents. But they've kind of turned into a novelty because you don't see them too much. JJ Rainey says you should use the coin that I gave you. Most of the coins that you guys give me as gifts, I keep a couple of them here, but most of them I take home to add to my collection. So if you guys don't see something that I gave you, it's not because I don't like it. It's because I probably put it away for safekeeping in my personal collection. And I do enjoy all the gifts that you guys send me. I really do. Yeah, you have a great weekend too, Band Talk. Are you streaming tonight? I know you've been on Rumble a lot lately. I'm on Rumble, guys. Band Talk's on Rumble. Band Talk may be going more exclusively to Rumble. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think. Good night, Barney Brady. Take it easy, man. I'm getting off in just 2 seconds here. There's just too many good people in this chat still hanging out. Hey, Gorizer, what's happening? Crazy Heathen, what's up, man? The Biden 0 cents coin? Yeah. That's a cool one. Those are highly collectible. Good night, Mateo. Yeah, good luck at the rally tomorrow, Crazy Heathen. And guys, if you're looking for a Michigan rally over on the middle west side of the state, if you will, Big Rapids area, make sure you go check out Crazy Heathen's YouTube and Facebook page. Last time I checked, he has all the stuff available for that. There's still time to go if you live out there. I've just had a tough spring for many reasons when it comes to my business, and I just don't think I can quite make it that far. Although there's going to be some good friends of mine there. Really wish I could go there and see Catherine Henry. I haven't seen her in a while. And she lives down in Florida. Want to see Crazy Heathen, of course. Other good people that are going to be there. You guys know how it goes. It takes a few eggs to make an omelet, and couldn't quite scratch the 50-cent pieces together for this one. But I'll be there. I'll be there to hang out with you guys at some other events. You know what I'm gonna have to do, Crazy Heathen, is just have I'll just get a hold of Catherine and probably have her as a guest on another live stream on here. She's been on the channel a couple times. Are you going to that one too, Rob? Are you going to the one out in Big Rapids too? Man, you're all over the place. All right. Well, you can see my buddy Rob Rodriguez from 2A Patriot. Awesome. That's right. I figured it might be a little bit too far of a drive for you. I didn't know. Well, no, you drove all the way up to Traverse City for one. See, we're all doing our different things. It's just I can't do every one of them. It's hard. But I appreciate you guys being there. Definitely go. If you guys are like anywhere near the Big Rapids area, I better have that right. It is Big Rapids, right? Like where Ferris State's at. If I have that wrong, you guys better correct me real quick before I get off here. 1,500 subscribers. Nice. Crazy Heathen. Congratulations, man. Yeah. Oh, Ethan has 2 baseball games to go to. Nice, man. Enjoy yourself. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we'll do something crazy, Heathen. We did one before talking about the rally in Hastings, Michigan, which was really fun. I liked being there a lot. Yeah, we'll get together, man. Yeah, pre-64 is 90% silver, it looks like. Big Rapids Fairground in Macasta. Okay, cool. Yeah, go there. Say hi to Crazy Heathen. He goes by Phil. Go say hi to Rob. He goes by 2A Patriot, right? And Rob. Say hi to Catherine Henry. Shake their hands or give them a hug and say 2A EDU said hello. They're all friends of mine. Hold on a minute. What's this? Hold on. There we go. Right here, I'm looking at the Defend 2A flyer. We have Rob. We have Ralph Rebant, Ryan Kelly. We have Phil Robinson. And we have Faye Graves. There we go. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. All right. There we go. June 3rd, 3:30 p.m. for all of you guys that live on the, I'll say northern-ish part of the state. I guess you could call it Northwest Michigan. I don't know. Mid-Northwest. All right, good night, guys. Looks like you guys are all turning out, and I am tired, and I'm actually really, really hungry too. So good hanging out with all of you. It was kind of a change of pace tonight. Maybe it was refreshing. I had a good time. If I disappointed you and you want to hear me ranting, I certainly was doing a lot of that on Thursday. So you can go back, or Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. So you can go back and watch the replay of that. But I enjoyed your questions, and hopefully it was a good listen, and maybe some of you learned something. That would be a win-win. All right. I will see the rest of you on here throughout the week. I'm going to post some stuff next Friday. Or if you missed me already and want to see me tomorrow, check out my locals community. Link is down there in the description. And don't forget to email and call State Representative Jamie Thompson's office and tell her that you want her on another live stream. I just want to do it to mess with her and see if. But if enough of you do, she will, though. So it's a joke, but it's actually dead serious at the same time. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Good night, Pillbox Bunker. Take it easy, man. Good night, Dale. Randy Smith. Misty Mrs. Wayne. G23. Johnny. Too many choices. I know I missed somebody tonight, but hopefully I got to say hi to most of you.